Hello, champions. Welcome to week number 2 of this series on how to achieve more productivity, progress, profit, passion in your life. And we've been talking about shifting our beingness. And beingness is this concept. It's not just what we say. It's not just the actions we take. It's just who we are in our soul as we are going through our lives and having this experience. And I want to acknowledge all of you who watched last week. If you didn't see last week, check it out. Just scroll down the page, it's there. And today we are going to talk about the second aspect of this. Last week we spoke about gratitude, and I gave you some homework to write 100 items of gratitude. And I want to know how many of you actually wrote gratitude items. Just chat in the box right now. I see my friend Linda is here, and I know Bruce had said he was getting on this homework and writing out the 100 items of gratitude. Writing our gratitude and having what my kids call radical gratitude every day just for the small things is one of the ways we shift our beingness. And today we are going to get into some NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I'm a certified NLP coach and trainer. We're also going to potentially even do some live coaching, and I would love to do that with you. And we're going to have a lot of fun. So Bruce wrote 4 pages of gratitude. Christina and Nina and Annette also did their gratitude. And I want to know, how did writing those 100 items of gratitude make you feel? How did it make you feel? I'd love to see some of you chat in the box right now. How did it make you feel? We've got some thumbs up. Did anyone gain some powerful perspective as you wrote out the gratitude? Were you going, oh my gosh, maybe my life is a lot better than I thought it was, right? So many things. And one of the things, hey, Kayla Ramirez, it's great to see you, and Michelle Andrews. One of the things as we go through our life feeling more grateful, isn't it incredible how we begin to see our lives in a different way, and then how different things show up for us? And so, a peaceful, refreshed, blessed, my list just kept going and going. Awakened me, said Bruce. It put my life into perspective. I just watched part 1 this morning. But I was actually practicing gratitude this week as well. It felt amazing and humbling, says Maria. It made me realize how lucky I am, says Rial. Each statement springboarded to others. Yes. Oh, I miss you too, Kayla. It's great to see you as well. That we don't really have any problems, right? And so when we can be in gratitude and fully surrender to what is, that's when miracles happen. And in my personal life, we're going through something right now that is taking a tremendous amount of faith, and I can't tell you about it just yet, but I will. And even today we had a meeting, and no matter what happens with that meeting, I'm just profoundly grateful that I get to go and have that meeting. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Susan, tell us about it. I can't tell you about it right now, but I will, I promise. Anyway, I want to get going with today's lessons, where we're going to build on gratitude and go into this next level with belief. And I am, as I mentioned, going to do some NLP coaching with you. And if those of you who don't know me, my name is Susan Sly, and my website is susansly.com. I literally just walked in my office. I was in a full suit like seconds ago, and just downed a protein bar, and I'm ready to go to teach you. And I was up early this morning before my day got going, just meditating and praying on this lesson. And if it wasn't confirmation enough, I had decided last week that I was going to talk about words and how our words affect us. And I said, no, it's not the right week for words. And this free, I charge as a coach. Obviously, I have a coaching company, Accelerate Coaching, with my business partner, Lisa DeMeo. I also do productivity coaching. And I wanted to do this series where I was just going to give. I was going to give, and I was going to help you, and I was going to support you. And you could just take this coaching and do with it what you will. And so as I was planning this series a few weeks ago, I got super excited. I said, oh yeah, week number 2, we're going to do words. And then have you ever been going along and doing something and you went, no, it's not it. It's not going to be it. And that's what happened to me. So I decided, no, it's not going to be words. We're actually going to focus on beliefs. And then yesterday we went to church, and sure enough, our Pastor Scott Anderson, check him out at Living Word Church, he's awesome, was talking about beliefs. And I was like, okay, that's the confirmation there. So we're going to talk about beliefs today. So just have a seat, grab a pen, chill, relax. And if this work is really helping you, I would ask that you share it. I would love to help as many people as we can during the holiday season. It's very stressful. I've also started preparing my new series for January, and throughout all of 2018, I'm going to do a new series every month, and it's going to be cool. So you'll find out what that is. I'm not telling you today. So let's talk about beliefs. So our beliefs are powerful, and beliefs really dictate the life we're living. So whatever you saw in the mirror this morning, and you looked in the mirror, and maybe it was your weight, and you thought, oh, I'm not where I want to be. Or maybe it's your relationships, and maybe they're toxic, or your money, you're broke all the time. Well, as easy as it is to blame other people in the economy and genetics and say my parents were fishing in the shallow end of the genetic gene pool and do all of those things, the reality, my friends, is this. Our results are a direct reflection of our beliefs. And when we change our beliefs, we change our results and we change our lives. Now, changing our beliefs is not that easy, because as an NLP coach, I will tell you that what happens is our beliefs, although they're created on the surface, they go below the surface and they go into our subconscious and they become programs. And these programs run our life. And so you may be saying, well, Susan, what does that really look like? And let me give you an example. So let's say you struggle with your weight. And it's always been a struggle. Every time you lose weight, you gain weight. Every time, you just start to feel good, then something happens, right? So maybe you are carrying a belief, and maybe you heard it in childhood. All the women in our family are big boned. And maybe you heard that so early on that it was in your conscious, all the women in our family are big boned, that it went to your subconscious. And so no matter what you do, you could live on a saltine cracker or lettuce or whatever you do, you could, eat nothing for 30 days. You wouldn't lose weight, because write this down, everyone, our programs are stronger than our actions. We attract into our lives at so many levels, and we attract people, circumstances that will definitely reinforce these unsupported beliefs. So as an example, you may spend money on a diet and it might work for a period of time, but then it's going to stop working. And it's going to stop working because that program is so strong in your body. Your body physically will not let you lose more weight than you're comfortable with. If this makes sense, say yes. If this makes sense to you, just say yes right now. Hi, Maria. Hey, Whitney. It's great to see you. So now let's think about money. Let's say a child, they see their parents fighting about money at an early age. And so this child begins to think, oh, people who are married fight about money, and that's normal for them, and that's their belief. So what's going to happen when they grow up and get married? They're going to fight about money too. So these beliefs don't even have to be logical. Let's talk about illogical beliefs. So how many of you have seen the series Stranger Things on Netflix? So my son just binge watched, season 2. So Stranger Things is this whole concept about the supernatural, right? So people will believe in ghosts, they'll believe in supernatural, they'll even watch Finding Bigfoot and believe that there are big feet or Bigfoot. What's the plural of Bigfoot, by the way? Big feet? I don't know. They'll believe in a Sasquatch. They'll believe in UFOs. And they'll believe in these things. And yet when it comes to believing that they could be wealthy, that they could be lean, that they could have a loving, fulfilling relationship, they could change their destiny, they have a hard time in that? Give me a break. As human beings, we believe in odd things all the time. And yet, believing that something is more possible for ourselves, why is it we have a tough concept with that? Well, it doesn't have to be tough. So today in this series, I'm going to teach you how to shift that. I'm going to teach you how to develop more empowering beliefs so you can finish the year strong, going into 2018 being that empowered man or woman that you want to be. So let's talk about where our beliefs come from. So write this down, EBTA. Our beliefs, they come from our experiences. That's the E. So we have an experience and we create a perception about that experience that creates a belief for us, right? So, there's a famous story of this woman who bakes a ham. I'm not a meat eater. Heard the story. I'll use it. So no offense to my fellow vegetarians. So she makes the ham and she always cuts the ends off. And so one day her husband says to her, why do you always cut the ends off? And she's like, well, I watched my mom do it. So he says to the mom, why do you always cut the ends off the ham? She's like, I saw my mom do it. And so she says to grandma, why do you always cut the ends off the ham? And the grandma says, well, because my pot was too small and we couldn't afford another one, so we had to do it. So the mother and the daughter believed that in order to make a ham, they had to cut the ends off, right? That's how crazy our beliefs come from our experience of observing and internalizing other people. Does this make sense, everybody? So we have an experience that creates a belief, that creates a thought, that creates our action. And that's why I made the decision that we weren't going to talk about words and thoughts yet. We'll do that next week and the week after, because we hadn't really covered beliefs. So we build on gratitude. We're grateful for the life we've had. Now we can take our life now and shift our beliefs and transform our perception of our past so we can create empowering beliefs and beliefs that are, I call them supportive beliefs. There are supportive and unsupportive beliefs. We can create supportive beliefs as we move into our future. Does this make sense, everybody? Okay, so let's talk about how we create a supportive belief. So the first thing we have to do is identify what our unsupportive belief is. So what is an unsupportive belief that we have? Would anyone like to come out? I've never brought anyone out on a live before, but would anyone like to come out and be live coached right now? Yes? Okay, Maria, you want to come out? Let's see if I know how to do this. I'm going to click on Maria. Okay, Maria, I'm going to bring you out, baby girl. All right, hopefully I'm going to bring Maria out. I'm trying to. Okay. Maria, are you able to come out? Let's see if we can bring Maria out.
I'm here.
You are.
Hi, Susan.
Hey!
Hi.
I did it. Hey, beautiful girl.
Not today. I wasn't expecting this, but you're beautiful, Susan. Thanks for bringing me out.
Well, thank you for coming, and you are beautiful. So what limiting belief would you like to work on today?
I get stuck in my own way of doing things and not advancing forward. So I need to ditch a limiting belief on that. And I'm not sure if it's that I don't believe that I deserve it or that I get to a certain point and maybe self-sabotage.
Okay, so what do you think the limiting belief is?
I stop myself. I get to a certain point and either I get overwhelmed or distracted and I stop myself. So I wish I could tell you exactly there what that is.
So you stop yourself. Give me an example of when you stop yourself, because stopping yourself isn't a limiting belief, but let's see if we can dig in here. Give me an example of when that happens for you.
Distractions, family distractions. If we have a crisis or something happens, then I lose the balance with work and go all into overdrive on family.
Okay, and when a family distraction happens, why do you put your work to the side?
I put my focus where I believe that the family needs focus. Since my sister passed away, I've tried to step up and for her family. And so that's when the focus goes on them. And then that keeps me from working with the family or working with the business.
So you put your focus where you believe it needs to be. Why do you believe your focus needs to be 100% on your family when they're in crisis?
And that could be because I feel that I'm capable of helping and that I should help and that it's the right thing to do. But so I struggle with the balance there.
So you feel capable of helping and it's the right thing to do, but you don't feel capable of helping and also growing your business as well at the same time?
I feel that I can, but I stop myself because of that. It stops me. I used to have a saying where I'd say, if I'm going through hell, I can't sell. And I kind of go there in my mind that I have to focus on one very important thing at a time. So since you're a work-life balance expert, I've read your books and they've helped me, but I know that that would be an area where I could come up higher.
Okay. So there's a belief there. I think there's a couple of beliefs, and I'm going to tell you a story and then we're going to decide which belief it is. So my daughter, sorry, Rachel, who's 12, when she was a little girl, she used to have temper tantrums all the time, Maria, like constantly. And it was interesting because she would just, of course, it's at the most inopportune times. We'd be all getting ready to go to a restaurant or all getting ready to go to church, and she's like have a total meltdown. And when I began to do some NLP on her, she actually had a realization that she had created a belief for herself that she couldn't love more than one person at a time. And how this belief showed up for her is when she felt that she had to divide her attention between two people she loved, she felt her belief was, I have to pick one. And her resulting behavior was that she'd have a temper tantrum. So the reason I'm sharing this is because I feel for you that one of the beliefs that's limiting you is, I'm not capable.
Yes. Well, it has to be that because I'm stopping myself.
So when you're stopping yourself, it's reinforcing the belief that you're not capable, because it's like, oh, haha, Maria, you've got this stuff going on in your life, so you can't also build a business. See, now you're not getting any results. See, I just proved that you're not capable, right? So how else has I'm not capable shown up and run the show? What other areas of your life?
Well, I would say relationship-wise. I don't want to go back through marriage again, so I just don't put myself out there.
Yeah, that's one way to protect yourself. Just don't put yourself out there, right? Okay. What about in your health?
I get to a certain point within 20 pounds of a goal and I stop. I've been able to keep my weight off for 2 years, but I still have a much higher goal.
And then also in leadership, right? So if you're not capable, then, you don't step up to lead and you look for any excuse not to lead, because that will only reinforce that you're not capable, and you don't want to disappoint anyone. So you go to what's safe, right?
Escapist.
Yeah.
Good, Susan.
I want to thank you for your vulnerability. Is this helping anyone? Let's look at the chat. I'll give Maria a break for a moment.
Thank you. Yeah, I could comb my hair.
No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. So as part of this belief that you're not capable, oftentimes what is attached to I'm not capable is I'm not worthy.
Well, I feel worthy, and I know I'm a child of God, and I know that I truly do belong, but I apparently am stopping myself with that thought.
Yeah. Someone who had a high sense of self-worth, Maria, would never shut themselves down like you do.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And someone who had a high sense of self-worth would also have boundaries with her family.
I'm reading that book. Yes.
Good. Well, let's do a little bit of quick NLP coaching on this. And I think there are other beliefs, and we're, in front of these people. So I'm just going to choose I'm not capable, because I think that isn't the big one for you, but I think it's a nice one for us to work with, especially in front of so many people. And I think it's going to help a lot of people too. So let's work with that one.
Okay.
So when we feel that we're not capable, we will have some success, but when we get to a certain level, we will put the brakes on, because if we were fully allowing our capability, we would go all the way to the top in the relationship, in the body, and all of it, in the finances. And then there would be that pressure of leadership. That's a whole other belief. But these beliefs are like beach class. And how this shows up is, if you were ever little and on the beach and collecting the beach glass, and you kind of put, the purple one on top of the green one, on top of the pink one, and you kind of look down, it makes this morphed up color. It's the same thing with our limiting beliefs. So with the belief that we're not capable, it's going to show up as sabotage. It's going to show up as people who question our capability. Maria, has anyone ever questioned your capability?
Maybe not to my face. Not that I've noticed, but apparently I do it. So I'm much tougher on myself than anyone else would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And how does this belief make you feel? I'm not capable of handling it all. I'm not capable of doing both. I'm not capable of attracting that ideal partner and maintaining that relationship. I'm not capable of rank advancing in my business. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, that is a less than belief. And, as you said, with clarity and certainty, you can't be overwhelmed. And that used to be a word I used a lot, was overwhelmed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how does it make you feel in addition to overwhelmed? So overwhelmed, and what else?
It's a defeat mindset, I believe. Mm-hmm. I think it's a less than mindset, and I know I'm capable of more. And I usually, I give 110%, so I know there's more there. It's just that I stop myself when some issue happens or something happens, and we've had a lot of tragedy in our family, a lot of death and sickness and cancers. Mm-hmm. So when that happens, I go into overdrive.
And you even said, because I'm taking notes, you put the brakes on. So the truth is your 110% isn't 110% of what you know you're capable of. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
So overwhelmed.
Half to each. If I could give even half to each, it would be good.
Yeah. So overwhelmed, defeat mindset, less than. How else do you feel?
Well, I love accomplishment. So usually a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day, and I try not to go to sleep without that. I'm a progress person. So I feel when I stop myself, I feel that the progress is limited. So then I don't feel accomplished. In a circular way there.
Okay, so you don't feel accomplished. Mm-mm. And Maria, and I love you, and I know you. This was not premeditated, everyone. Maria volunteered, so I'm going a bit easier on her.
Thank you.
But one of the things, Maria, as you just begin to touch the tip of the emotion, you start laughing and compensating. So I would say you're not even truly allowing yourself to feel. So if we could really just grasp the emotion of feeling that you're not capable of building a business and being amazing in your family, how does that make you feel?
Well, that would make me feel horrible. That would feel really bad. And I'm not sure I'm 100% there with feeling not capable. I know it's in me, but I squelch it.
You don't allow yourself to feel, because if you're focused on your family crisis, then you can't actually allow yourself to feel how disappointed you are with yourself and your business, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yes. That's
okay,
good.
Now we're getting somewhere, right? So this feeling horrible, feeling disappointed, feeling less than, feeling that you're not accomplishing anything. If we extended this 5 years out and you were still experiencing these same feelings and you were in the exact same situation, how would that feel?
I wouldn't allow it to go that long. So because I think that would be a very unsuccessful life.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's my first year in business, I don't feel totally defeated, but I feel squelched in ways because my focus isn't 110% where it needs to be.
How long have you let this go on?
I would say probably 3 years, which is when my sister passed.
Mm.
Yeah.
So,
That's excellent, Susan. Yeah. So I'm just need to step up for myself.
well, and I want to help you. So I want to, because we're going to finish this year strong,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's
Yes.
not a need to, it's a choose to. And you're not honoring her memory by not being in your power, my love,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're
Mm-hmm.
not honoring her memory by allowing this limiting belief, because isn't it true that she would probably kick your booty if she saw how you were sabotaging yourself?
Yes.
Mm,
Yeah, she would.
right.
Yes. She was a very determined person.
Mm. So if you had all the capability you wanted and you could handle supporting your family, growing a business, and leading, what would be different in your life?
Uh, Respectfully, of other people, I'll say that I would focus on, God first and then myself second, because I know you can't serve from an empty vessel. So it would be less distractions. It would be ownership. I take my ownership and they take theirs,
Mm-hmm.
and showing up as a champion.
Mm. And what would showing up as a champion look like to you?
It would,
What would some of the results be?
yeah, no compromise.
Mm-hmm.
100% fit, healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It starts there, and I have been healthy, but I want to take that goal much higher. And success in business. Since
Mm-hmm.
it's my first year, I'm learning, and and just showing up at 110% for myself, and for my team.
Mm. That's beautiful.
It's true, and
So
that's helpful.
show up as a champion and be lean and fit and healthy, and you're handling it all and you're capable. And so let me ask you, when was the last time in your life that you did show up as a champion?
Uh, I would say a big time as that would be there are a couple of ways. So personally, at my prior job as a sales exec, when my family was going through a crisis with my mom's cancer and my sister's cancer, I still was able to hit and exceed targets. I was still
Mm,
taking care of my own health as much as I could at that time. And
mm,
that was an important time in our life, and that's where I felt like I could do it all. But then
mhm.
it got to me. It got to me eventually.
Because you didn't get the outcome you wanted. And so you've created the real limiting belief in the program. And I've seen this many times before, is if I show up in my power and produce at the way I'm capable of, bad things happen. My
Yeah.
mom dies, my sister dies, like people get sick, people check out of my life. That's what happens. That's the real belief. And I can relate to that because in my past life, I used to run a program that went like this: if I'm happy, bad things happen. If I'm happy, I get abused. If I'm happy, someone cheats on me in my marriage. If I'm happy, I walk into my health club one day, there's a padlock on the door. So as a result, I ran a program for years where I didn't allow myself to be happy so that I could stay safe, right?
Safety
And
is
so,
not healthy. Yes, yes. And my mom survived the cancer, but my sister didn't and my dad didn't. So it's true that when I think things are firing on all cylinders, the bottom's going to drop out. I thought I had kind of overcome that, but I see it showing up.
yeah. And so why produce, right? Your family becomes a lovely distraction. And, you and I are both Christians. So we can say, yeah, I'm serving, right? God, I'm doing what you want me to do. So I'm going to go and serve, and I'm going to drop everything else because, God forbid, if I am successful, something bad is going to happen.
That's awesome.
Is that?
Yes, this is resonating with me. That's it.
Well, and I want to thank you. You're doing great, right? Like this isn't easy. So let me ask you, is it true that if you produce at the level that you want to, that everything's going to cave in?
No.
And is it possible, Maria, that if you produce at the level that you want to, that actually things are even going to be better than they are now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And so with this coaching, we're going to create an anchor. So in your past, who is if you can think of anyone who is strong, able to handle it all, able to, build a business, be with family, love the Lord, who is the first person that comes to your mind?
Me. Me.
Okay.
That's
All right.
crazy, but I would love to tell you, my dad was strong. He was my hero. He treated people right.
What was his name?
Jerry.
Okay. With a J or a G?
J.
Okay. All right. So we can't use ourselves in this coaching, because one of the ways we shift a limiting belief is to borrow from someone else, someone who gives us courage and gives us strength in this situation. And so we're going to use Jerry. Okay. So I want you to take your phone and I want you to stand up, and I want you to get into a physiological position like Jerry would have been in.
Okay.
Let us see that. Okay.
Okay.
We want to see. So how does Jerry hold his head? Strong,
upright. He was a
strong
deputy. Yeah, he was strong and he was confident.
All right. And when Jerry goes to handle a family situation, give me an expression that would be on his face. What would that look like? He's got that phone call. He's like,
he was smart and he was wise. So he would just have that confident demeanor, that bold, strong jaw, that.
Okay. And if Jerry was in the midst of doing something that was work related and then also had the family situation, show us how Jerry would look. How would he handle those two things at one time?
He would be confident in knowing what he needed to do. He was very good with priorities.
So you have an amazing example of that. Now, everyone watching, can you see how Maria, I want you to watch this part again. Did you see how her expression changed? Did you see how her face shifted, how her physiology changed when she was channeling Jerry? Can you guys see that? If you can, just say yes in the chat box right now. So Maria, your whole physiology changes. I can see you're thinking differently. You're holding your head differently. So here's what we're going to do to shift this belief that you aren't capable. Okay. You are going to take on the persona of the ultimate superhero, your father, Jerry. Okay. So when you are growing your team, when the family is calling, before you react, you are going to step into this. What would Jerry do right now? And you're going to stand up and you're going to handle the phone call or handle whatever you are doing as though you are Jerry. Do you think you can do that for the next 12 months?
Yes. Yes. I admired him a lot. And I think about him a lot and how he would handle things, but I've never taken on the physiology. And that definitely even felt like 10 points up.
And when you're making calls and you're calling your team, I want you to stand up and I want you to channel Jerry. I want you to channel his demeanor, his mannerisms, all of it, the tone in his voice. You have a beautiful role model in your father, and he would not want his beautiful baby girl to show up as anything less than capable. Your sister wouldn't want you to show up as anything less than capable. And the truth is, you've been playing small because you've been operating from a past limiting belief that bad things happen when you do good things.
That's absolutely spot on, Susan. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. I'll probably hang up and cry, but it's beautiful.
Okay.
And it's true.
All right. You can sit down, love, but so this is helpful for you?
Oh, it's fabulous. Thank you. Yes, I'm going there. I'm going to write down a few notes too. Yeah. Thanks for calling me out.
Well, thanks for volunteering. And this was definitely a God thing, because I have never brought someone out on my Facebook Live before. And God kept saying to me, today's going to be your day. And I'm like, oh, dear Lord. Right? So
that was tough. And it was tough. I didn't mean to make that so tough, but that was excellent. Thank you, Susan.
You are very welcome. Well, thank you. Are you guys getting some good stuff from learning from Maria and her coaching today? Before we finish, I want to hear, because I want to, thanks, Maria, for stepping out, says Valerie. Angela says, I love this. Kathy Edwards. Yes, well done, Maria, says Estelle.
Thank you.
Well, and what I want to do, there's some things I do want to definitely close with. There's no question. I don't even know how to not have Maria on camera anymore. So Maria, maybe you've got a button. I'm going to learn from this too. So there we go. All right. So I want to wrap up this session today. Did you guys like some live coaching? Is this something you'd like me to do more? I'm going to have some Starbucks tea while we're talking about this. Okay, good. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Well, I want to finish up with just a couple thoughts on belief before we go. So, with our limiting beliefs and with Maria, there was a deeper belief than capability, right? But as a coach, and I don't do one-on-one coaching except on these Facebook Lives. I do group coaching with Lisa DeMeo in our company Accelerate, and we have a great program starting in January. So that's where I do it. I also do it with my business clients. And I love coaching. I've coached for years. I was coaching clients back in the early 90s. And a little bit about that background. I won't go into it too much, but when I went to university, I did a degree in psychology, and I've studied human development for decades. And I actually did work for a stint for corrections, and I worked in parole. So you can imagine counseling people who had done some very dark deeds and wanted to go and be good citizens in humanity, and the kind of coaching I did there, and then also different kinds of coaching that I've done as well. But the reason I love this work in NLP style coaching is because even for Maria, if she tries to go back to her old patterns, because we've installed an anchor in using her father, Jerry, that she's going to have a hard time, right, in going back to those beliefs and those limiting patterns, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So when we shift our beliefs, we begin to make some changes, and then we see the world differently, and different things show up for us. And I'd love to tell you that there's a destination that suddenly I shift my beliefs and everything's amazing. It's a lifetime pursuit because a lot of these beliefs, like for Maria, this particular belief, which wasn't really, I'm not capable, it's that when I'm producing at a high level, people die on me. That's her belief that she created. These beliefs can be very, very deep. They can be very painful, toxic, and sometimes we're not even aware, right? So just know that if you've got some different limiting beliefs, that you can begin to, once you have that awareness, you have that power to begin to shift that, which is amazing. And that's why I love this work. So I do have a couple quick announcements. For our subscribers on SusanSly.com, I'm doing a very deep fireside chat with Clayton Mask. He is the CEO of Infusionsoft. He started his company and he didn't have a lot of people believing in him. He maxed out 5 credit cards to pay his employees. And he was living on cereal, and now he has a very successful company. So we're going to interview him, but it's for our subscribers only. So if you subscribe, we are going to be sending out a link to that, which is awesome. We also have an Infusionsoft info session tomorrow night, and Infusionsoft is a client management system, and we help people if they're life coaches in direct sales, they're small business owners, realtors. We help them integrate that. That's what my other company, one of the things that it does. My class, Organize Your Life, starts in January. So if you like this kind of work with me, imagine when I'm coaching you in a group and coaching you to stop procrastinating and get organized. That's what I do in that class. So check it out on SusanSly.com. And if this series is powerful and helpful to you, I would love if you would share today's video. I read all your comments. We are going 2 more weeks. We're going to talk about languaging. I'll do some more coaching with that. And then our last session in this series is going to be on December 26th. And it's going to be talking about taking our gratitude, our beliefs, our language, and how do we write our goals for 2018 from a place that's empowered, not from a place that's lack. Imagine writing a goal, for example, to hit a new level or to make more money, but not doing it from a place that's competitive, that's, not feeling good, but in a place that's empowered. So that's what we're going to do in this series. And then I have a new series starting in January. You don't have to be a Christian, but this has been on my heart for years. And it's going to be about becoming a millionaire using the principles of the New Testament. So that one's starting in January. I'm super excited about that. So with that, God bless. I am praying for you. Have an amazing, amazing week. I am sending you all much love, and I'll be here next Monday. Bye, everybody.